Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Gail Bliss. I would like to introduce Avery Renk, running for State Assembly in District 48. As we begin, I'd like you to give an opening statement as to the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have, which qualifies you for this office, and why you are running for State Assembly.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Gail. Thank you for the City of Madison and the League of Women's Voters for having us out, making sure we get the voters to know all the crucial information about their candidates in these really important elections. So I appreciate all the work you're doing. Yeah, I'm running for State Assembly. With this new redistricting, it's coming down to Sun Prairie and the east side of Madison, and I'm a lifelong resident of the Sun Prairie and a little bit of the east side. I love it. I've worked with Gary Hebel in the State Assembly and as an attorney pretty significantly, and he's done an excellent job representing the district from 2005 till 2022. And I really was excited about the work that he did and wanted to keep that going. So I decided to run. My educational background, I went to Sun Prairie High School, then I went to UW-Madison, got a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, and then I went to the University of Wisconsin Law School, where I got my JD. I currently work as an attorney in Sun Prairie. My civic experience is admittedly a bit limited because of my age. I'm only 25 years old, but I did work extensively in the state capitol with former Representative Gary Hebel, hoping to use that experience. But I think I'm qualified because of the way that I understand and know the values of Sun Prairie and of the Madison's east side, and I'm ready to take that to the State House. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any process you believe the Wisconsin legislature should put in place now for redistricting after the next national census?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I think what's happened in the last 14 years, it's a little better this time around, especially in the assembly, but what's happened in the last 14 years can never happen again. We can't know exactly who's going to win every race, but we need a fair process to make sure that the map making process is in place. So, I'm a big supporter of the bipartisan redistricting council. It's something that's been proposed a lot, and I think it's really a smart thing to do. You get a few Republicans, a few Democrats, and they come together and they have to make maps together. I think that is the only way out of here, especially in a 50-50 state like Wisconsin. We need equal representation from Democrats and Republicans, as well as from rural and urban voters on this redistricting process. So there should be elected Republicans, elected Democrats, as well as unelected officials on this nonpartisan redistricting board.
Thank you. What issues, if any, do you think you could work effectively in a bipartisan manner in the next session?
Yeah, I think I can work on a lot of issues in a bipartisan manner effectively. I think my ability to work in a bipartisan manner is what makes me such a uniquely qualified candidate. I come from a Republican farming family here in Wisconsin, so I'm really used to talking to rural Republicans, and I think there's a lot of common ground to be found. I think one thing that we can do is get our public school teachers paid a little more. Wisconsin's slipping in the national averages for our teacher pay. I think we can work on that. I think I can get Republicans on board on that. I also think we can work on environmental issues, especially conservation. With Republicans, I think that there's a lot to be done as far as conserving Wisconsin's forests, wetlands, lakes, rivers. And I think there's a lot of Republicans interested in keeping the, Wisconsin's environment as beautiful as it currently is.
Thank you. What role, if any, do you think the legislature should have in addressing conditions in Wisconsin's state prisons?
Yeah, that's a tough question, Gail, but I thank you for asking it because it's really an important one. You never want to invest in the incarceral system, right? And that's the toughest part. But the conditions in our state prisons, we have to rebuild some prisons and we have to upgrade some facilities. Waupun, certainly, Dane County, certainly. And those are mostly local measures, but making sure the funding is there. But, I think from the state legislature, when it comes to prisons, our biggest goal needs to be keeping people out of prisons. And I think there's a short-term solution to that. I think there's a long-term solution. I think the short-term solution is to legalize cannabis and immediately release anyone convicted of a cannabis charge currently serving time. And I think the long-term solution is to continue investing in our public schools and continue investing in our public education.
Thank you. What role do you think the state legislature has in ensuring successful outcomes for all students, including those with disabilities?
Yeah, no, great question. I think the state has all the responsibility for ensuring great outcomes because we have a public school system. And I think we need to remember what public means. That means it's supported by the government, and what private means. That means it's not. So we need to end charter systems, the charter school system, and any voucher programs, redirect that money straight back to public schools. And right now, public or special education is significantly underfunded in the state of Wisconsin. We need to make sure that our special education programs have all the funding they need across the state. And the way we can free up that funding is by ending these charter schools, charter and voucher systems, and getting that money back into our public schools where it belongs.
Thank you. Are there any steps you believe the legislature should take to further address mental health and substance abuse disorders?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, as far as mental health goes, I think mental health should be treated the same as physical health for insurance. I'm in favor of accepting the Medicaid expansion, and I think that Badger Care should treat mental health the same as physical health. I think we need to have more funding for mental health professionals to respond to mental health emergencies. Our police right now are currently responding, and they are very busy with other things. And I think we should have more funding for mental health professionals to respond to those emergencies. Substance use is all about there's lots to do for substance use, but strengthening the drug court system in Madison is crucial for that. Strengthening rehabilitation. And again, like it goes back to a couple questions ago, keeping people out of prison, getting rehabilitation centers funded, and making sure we're focusing on treating substance use disorder as a disease rather than punishing it as a crime.
Thank you. What other priorities do you have for your term in office?
Yeah, so we've kind of luckily touched on some of my top priorities. I really want to get teachers raises. That's my number one priority. I talk to a lot of voters who want more money in public schools, and I'm all about that. But what they really want is for teachers to get paid more. And I think teaching is one of the most important jobs in the world, if not the most important. I think salary should reflect that. I think Wisconsin should be the best place to teach in the world. So really, public education is the key to my campaign, making Wisconsin the best place to teach. Accepting the Medicaid expansion, it's pretty baffling to me that we haven't accepted it yet, and I'm hoping we can get a majority in the assembly and work on getting that done in the upcoming session or the session after. And then conserving the environment, I've mentioned on, but specifically in my district, in District 48, and then in Wisconsin too, but especially in my district, is the wetlands. I think wetlands are crucial for biodiversity, for mitigating climate change, for sucking up runoff, protecting our drinking water. So conserving that is crucial for me.
Thank you. I want to thank Avery Renk for speaking with us, and thank you, the viewing audience, for taking time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that primary election day is Tuesday, August 13th, and the general election is Tuesday, November 1st. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.